there, welcome back to The Single Cook. My name is Tiffany and I'm your host. Today we're going to be doing a one-pot tortellini bake. So you are going to need either a cast iron skillet or an oven-safe pan that you can use in the broiler at the end of the video. So today we are doing this tortellini bake. It is, or can be, completely vegetarian. My stock is made with chicken, so it is not. But if you wanted to use a vegetable stock, that would completely make this vegetarian with no problem. You can also add additional things, so if you wanted to add some sausage crumbles to it, or if you wanted to add chicken or beef or any other meat really that you wanted to, you totally could. This one is just what I'm feeling with what I have in my fridge today, and in my pantry as well. So let's get cooking. So as I suggested in my recipe card at the end of this video, I have already prepped my ingredients. The ingredients I'm using today is, of course, the garlic, the minced garlic in a jar. This is in water so that it's not quite as oily. I have crushed red pepper flakes, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, breadcrumbs. You can totally use Italian style or you can use panko. It's up to you. I have Parmesan cheese. I have that chicken stock concentrate that I use all the time. I have 4 tablespoons of cream cheese, 2 Roma tomatoes that have been diced. I have oil, tomato paste. This is actually not in the recipe card, but I'm going to be adding the tops of a radish for some greenery in there. And then I have some mushroom tortellini that I'm going to be using today as well. Let's adjust the camera and get to cooking. Okay, let's get started. So we all know that I have to light my stove by hand because it's a little bit wonky. So I've got that on medium to high heat, and I'm going to be using my cast iron skillet today. We're going to start with a drizzle of oil, a healthy drizzle, a couple of tablespoons. And to that, we're going to be adding our garlic. And I'm going to be adding about 2 to 3 tablespoons. I just use my knife to not dirty another spoon. To that, we're going to add our Italian seasoning. And we're going to be adding about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half. I'm just eyeballing it. And we'll put that right over our garlic. Next, we're going to add our crushed red pepper flakes. And it's probably a little more than a quarter of a teaspoon, not much. If you like more heat, you can add more heat. If you don't like heat, you can leave that out. I'm going to be adding a couple of rounds of salt, and this is pink Himalayan sea salt. I just happen to have a grinder full of it. We're going to be adding some of that coarse black pepper. Should probably put this in a shaker bottle. But we've got about a teaspoon there. And as that heats up and gets fragrant in the pan, we're going to give that a good stir around, get those flavors all over the bottom of that pan. And you only cook it for about a minute or so before you add in the next ingredients. So next we're going to add in that diced tomato. And again, you can add fresh or canned. And if you're deciding to do a pre-made sauce instead of this, you could just pop it right in the pan and skip all of these steps. I'm going to add those radish tops. And all I've really done is run my knife through it to make them into smaller pieces. As those wilt down, they will get even smaller. And even though I put a bunch in there, you will barely notice them at all. And you could do this with kale, with spinach. You could leave it out entirely. I happen to like adding greens to my sauces. I think it's an easy way to add a vegetable that doesn't get noticed very much. You could also add onion to that too. And after about 5 minutes of stirring, this is where we're at. Our tomatoes are soft. Our radish tops have wilted down. And I'm going to be adding some of that stock concentrate. I'm only adding about a teaspoon here. It adds a ton of flavor without having to use very much at all. It's just that little brown spot. I'm going to add my 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. Scrape out my cup so I get all of that goodness. And then our tomato paste, probably about a tablespoon's worth. These tubes are great when you're cooking for just 1 or 2 people. That way you don't have to use up a whole can, and you don't have to have it in the fridge either. Next, we're going to be adding about a cup of water. And if the sauce looks too thick later on, you can always add more. And we're going to mix that all up until it becomes nice and smooth and that cream cheese is all incorporated. While our sauce is going, we're going to do our panko or breadcrumb topping. So I have my Parmesan cheese. I'm adding a drizzle of olive oil to that. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of Italian breadcrumbs. These are the Italian version, but you can use just regular panko. I'm going to add a little turn of the salt and a little bit of pepper, probably about 1/4 teaspoon, maybe a little more than. Forgot my spoon. We're going to give that a good mix so that the oil and the breadcrumbs get all around that cheese and that the salt and pepper gets evenly distributed. Trying not to make a mess here, and I do. Scrape off anything stuck to the spoon and set that aside. Okay, our sauce has been going for a while now. Probably about 5 to 6 minutes. And all of that has come together beautifully. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start adding our tortellini. This is mushroom tortellini. This is dried so it stays in the pantry. It's from Priano, which I got at Aldi's, one of my favorite stores. And I'm going to try and break this up as I put it in. Some of it is a little stuck together. So I'm going to try and put it in one tortellini at a time. Just breaking it up and keeping it all separated. Add all of your pasta here. I'm not going to make you watch all of that. Once we have it all in the pan, then we're going to start stirring it around, make sure it gets all nice and coated. And it's going to soak up a lot of that liquid, so don't worry if it looks too soupy right now. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes later, and our tortellini is starting to get nice and soft. The sauce is all thickened and it's starting to come together. And we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter. We have turned the heat off, and we're just going to let that butter get stirred through and mixed through so that it makes our sauce just a little bit silkier, a little bit richer, and helps it incorporate nice. My butter was a little cold, so it took a little longer to get incorporated. Now that we have that all done, we're going to add our topping to this. We're going to just sprinkle that cheese and breadcrumb mixture over top, and you can absolutely add mozzarella to this as well. If you like more of a bubbly cheese and less of a crunchy top, you can definitely do that as well. So we've got that all sprinkled around. So now we're going to take this pan and we're going to pop it under a broiler for about 5 minutes. Okay, our pasta is out of the broiler, so now we're going to make a little side dish. We're going to be making garlic toast. So I have some baguette that I have sliced up and I have toasted just in my toaster. And in this little jar I have some confit garlic, and this is where I have taken 30 bulbs of garlic, so the full heads of garlic, and I have de-skinned them and then put them in a pot with a bunch of oil, and I cooked them for several hours until they became this jammy consistency. And once they reach that consistency, you can store them in a mason jar in your fridge in the oil that you cook it in, because all of that oil now has that garlic flavor, and you can spread it on all kinds of bread and toast. You can put it inside things that need garlic if you don't have the minced garlic, but it's wonderful for making garlic bread. So now that that has been made, we're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to plate up our pasta. Now my pan is still hot, but I want to show you what the pasta looks like. So this has come out of the broiler. That breadcrumb top is all crispy and melted, and it provides a nice crunch on the top of the pasta, but the pasta is still soft, and the sauce has clung to all of that. We're going to plate that up. And I've got about 2 to 3 servings here, depending on if I'm having another side dish like a salad or a vegetable to go with it. I put those radish tops in it, so I have my green vegetable in there. And I'm just going to have the pasta with the bread. That last bit of sauce. And that is our pasta, our one-pan tortellini with the confit garlic bread. And that has been our meal for today. We did that one pan tortellini bake. We used some fresh tomatoes, some tomato paste, some of that stock concentrate, cream cheese, a little bit of water, and some seasonings like Italian seasoning and chili flakes to create a wonderful sauce that we then put our mushroom tortellini in. You can absolutely use any kind of jarred marinara sauce as well. You don't have to make your own sauce. This is just an easy way to make one with ingredients that you probably have on hand already, or in your pantry. You can use diced tomatoes, canned. If you wanted to use those instead of the fresh, you could absolutely do that. There are several cheats that you can do to make this meal a little bit faster, a little bit easier, even though this wasn't really very hard at all. It's a simple and easy meal that can go quick and get you fed in less than 30 minutes. So thank you for watching along with us today. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. We will continue to make videos for 1 or 2 people. This one will probably serve 2, or at least myself, for dinner tonight and probably lunch tomorrow. So thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time on The Single Cook.